What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my studio. I'm Joseph Finchum. You are you, and we're going to continue working on this bird today, so let's get into it. Hopefully everything's working this week. There was no power outages or anything, but since I didn't go live last week, who knows? There's always possibilities for gremlins, and we're going to get into it. Yeah. Who's here? Clark Fine Art, blah, blah. Clark Fine Art is here. Hello, thank you for coming and moderating. Hello, Teresa, thank you for joining. Okay, so let's go. Now, the first thing I want to do today is this guy is very much more on the yellow side than the green side, and I definitely wanted him to be a little green. Mike and video check. Thank you, Clark. So we're definitely going to be adding some green to him. I want to fix some parts in the eye, hopefully. And then start with getting some of the grays into his little crown here. And getting some blacks into this feather. Into this wing. Wing, not feather, wing. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to start with a very light green and just kind of hopefully tint some of these parts. I don't want it to be too green. It's definitely more in that yellow-green color. But the pencil I was using last week, what do they call it? Cadmium yellow lemon, which looks slightly with a greenish tint, clearly is not a slightly greenish tint. It's definitely more into the yellow spectrum. And I don't know if I have any good stories. I did read a couple articles. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I was talking about the lady with the jacket that went into the museum and stole the jacket, which was basically a piece of art. I thought that was hilarious because I find it hilarious when people make art that you can't really tell is meant to be art. That to me is astonishing. The other articles I read one was a very good copyright article. If you saw Shauna, Caution Artist at Play on YouTube, if you saw her video about I'm umming a lot, aren't I? If you saw her video about copyright and why she takes her own reference photos, I could say that video is exactly what I would have said, and I would like to upload it directly to my channel. But, you know, I don't think that's allowed. That's kind of frowned upon, especially when you're talking about copyright stuff. But yeah, so the article was about, I believe it was a German artist. Can't think of his name offhand, but he entered a oil painting into a competition at a museum in Luxembourg, and he ended up winning. And his drawing is somebody else's photograph flipped, and he added an earring and a sword to the picture. Everything else is exactly the same. Colors are a little off, but it's ridiculous how exact to the photograph it was. And I'm sure if you wanted to, you could Google it, because apparently it's not the first time he's done it. And he seems to think that people complaining about this is nonsense. So, whenever possible, take your own reference photos. That's all I'm saying. Because some people just don't care whether or not they're stealing your work. And if you've ever had any work stolen, let me know. I myself, I have once or twice had work stolen. I've mentioned it before. One was an actual college. I'm not going to say the name of the college or university, but I'll give you a hint. They stole my Phoenix drawing and were putting it on things without my permission. And in the end, yeah, I didn't get anything out of it, but they stopped using it. So at least there's that. And there was a guy who had one of my paintings on a T-shirt, who was also German. I don't think it's the same guy though. Teresa, have you ever done a reverse image search on any of your own artwork? Because that's how you find it. It's still adding just a tiny hint of green. Some of it's still gonna stay, not say. Some of it's still gonna say stay. Wow, why do I keep doing that? Stay a little bit of that lemony yellow color. I'm just trying to get some definition in here with this green and tint him ever so slightly. Some parts are going to be just a little bit darker than others. So I will be switching to a slightly darker green in a second or two. Good job. Hi, Gypsy. Uh, oh, yeah. Yep, that'll definitely happen. Hello, Sheila. Thank you for joining me. And then the second story is about I don't know if anybody heard about this. I think it was was it in LA maybe? I forget where it was. Forgive me for being forgetful. But it was a guy who broke up with his girlfriend or wife or significant other, um, having relationship problems, let's just put it that way, who decided to go into a museum and just start breaking ancient Greek pottery? Yeah, because that's a thing you do, apparently. I mean, talk about no respect for someone else's art. And sure, those people aren't around, but dang, that really gets you right here. So those are the two funny art related stories I have for this week. And we still got 2 hours to go. So get ready for some silence. Okay, so switching to the slightly darker green. Just get a little bit of that in here. A lot of this is going to be covered up with black, but it's really still just a kind of an undercoating, an underpainting. And even though I tried very hard not to damage the tooth last time, it is taking a little bit of effort to get some of this down on here. It's feeling a wee bit extra smooth. Probably also not twisting my pencil enough. I just realized that. And my reference photo, which has the green background, has so much green in it that it makes it a little hard to judge the color of this little guy. I'm going to go back to the other green. Oh, get out of here. Get back on your spot. Just well, a tiny bit more tinting to the majority of the yellow. Okay, he's definitely looking greener. I gotta remember to clear. Yeah, yeah, you would. That is exactly right, Clark Fine Art. You would absolutely expect a college. Although, it's not like they're in art school, so maybe, but still. Yeah, definitely a very selfish action. I don't I don't understand how anyone could do that. It makes no sense to me. Okay, so back here, there's a little tiny wing bit, a lump, it comes down, and then juts out a tiny bit, comes back. Start getting this black in here, which will hopefully help me judge the overall composition as we go. If you saw the thumbnail, you may have noticed that it's it looks pretty much dead on, but that took a tiny bit of manipulation to get it that way. It wasn't quite that easy to match up. Okay, so in here we're just gonna start getting nice and scribbly dark. And hopefully the blending will take care of everything. Still not a lot of pressure, but I am trying to lay down way more color than there was. This is gonna come way up into there. This can probably be more solid, but I'm just kind of breaking it up at the moment so that I don't accidentally go too dark in some places. But hopefully that green will shine through a tiny bit. And I greatly apologize if there is any road noise because it's a beautiful day here, so I have the window open. Gotta stop doing that. Don't drop your pencils. Switching over to some rounded strokes, just to try and get a little bit more in the tooth here. Tiny circles. Give this a quick sharpen. That ought to help a bit. We have some really good coverage in here. I can certainly try. Let me know if that's any better, because that's just about peaking. It is a definite possibility. First the buses usually. Almost always the buses first. Then the ice cream truck comes around. Because those guys can't avoid going after those kids. So in the eye, where I want to try and fix a little bit, should be a little bit white, a little bit grayer. I hate that. Just trying to blend away some of the gray I put down last week. And then go back to the dark gray. black. Now I have to kind of flatten out the bottom of this eye a bit. Hopefully I won't have to touch this at all again. Darken up right here, where there will be some feathers later. Okay, we're definitely getting into some of the detailing here, and we shouldn't be yet, so I'm just using the black to darken in some of these spots. I could be using the dark gray, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get it similar to the overall color and shape. And figure out, where my darker lines are going to be when I come through into the crown. Is that what you call it on a bird? Is it a crown or a crest? Probably a crest. Excellent, George. Glad you can hear it. We're all good then. Hello, D. Lynn. Thank you for joining, even if it's only for a few minutes. Every few minutes helps. Don't forget to hit that like button, because if you can't be here, help get someone else in here. Because supposedly that's how it works. Aw, thanks, Stella. If you're still out there. A crest. A crest, I believe, is correct. Okie dokie. Oh, okay. Stella is my sister-in-law, in case anyone was wondering. She pops in every now and then. More would be better. Stella, if you're still watching, more would be better. Okay, I'm afraid if I start blending this, it's gonna go all out of whack. So let me give it a quick blend. Make sure I'm not messing anything up. Trying to concentrate on the darkest parts first, so I can see if I need to recode it all. But it does seem to be blending nicely. It's looking very fuzzy. Am I looking? Autofocus is going out of control, that's why. Ah, OBS, you drive me crazy. Hopefully that'll help a bit. Let me try and clean a little bit of that black out of the brush before I go over the green. seems to be doing pretty good. Okay, not bad. Give me a second and I will try and dry this. Hopefully the magic hair dryer still works. Oh, the whole family, huh? Okay. It could be a goldfinch. And considering my last name is Finchum, hey, why not? So hello to Eric and Diana for also watching. And speaking of more would be better, go get on your own devices. 3 views are better than 1. I kid. Okay, where are we going here? Okay. The light gray. We're going to definitely start working in some of the feather detailing here. Which is almost just like drawing very fine hair. Like an eyebrow or something like that. But since this little guy's in some shade, he's definitely toned down a bit. I'm trying to keep everything moving in the same direction it's going in the reference photo. Hi, back at you, Diana. What are you doing with all your free time? now that school is over. It is over, right? Yeah, it's over. You know, besides posting extremely red photos to Instagram. I mean, believe me, I get it. Everything I do involves red, black, and white somehow. So. that's what. That's what's up. That's what's up. Everybody should be doing it. Like it's a hobby. Mm. want to add a little bit of this greenish gray right in here. Just to tone it down a bit from the white that's still kind of present. Switch to a slightly darker gray. Breaking up this edge a bit. Oh boy, what have I started? Apparently, my family of comedians has arrived. Down just a little bit more black to cover this so I can get it much more solid when I blend again. Still not burnishing yet. But getting close to it. Ah, unfortunately, that kind of language is not allowed here, Eric. Not by my choice. And to answer your question, it's because it's in a shadow. It's hiding under a leaf. See, this is a leaf up here that you can barely see. Bit more blending here. Right up to that edge. Good, good, good. Just trying to lightly go over everything so that I don't lose too much of that detail. Just softening everything up a little bit. When do I ditch it? I don't know. This one's been going for about 6 drawings now. Cat's Art Pics. Yeah. There is a little bit of a foot down here. See if I can get that in here. Just one little foot and one little toe poking out. Keep switching pencils till I get the look I'm going for. Try and come right back in. A little white and lighten that up. Kind of losing his little toesy there, so give it a little bit of shadow. Okay. we're almost pretty good on him. Darken up this little bit back here. That actually goes behind the tree. See if I can. I have to admit, it's kind of weird having half of my immediate and close by family in the chat. Yes, Stella. G rated. If that's still Stella. Yeah. Because, yeah, everybody switched their own stuff. So, yes. Okay. So, let's start. Let's start doing some more on this branch here. And this whole thing up. What's that saying we all know? Light's light enough, dark's dark enough. It would just be a little itty bitty snack. The guy was this big. You wouldn't want to eat him. His cousins, sure, but not his distant cousins. You know, the further back you go, the bigger they get. Darker? Darker still? Change and adjust this shape here a little bit. Try and get it just right. It doesn't need to be perfect, but okay. Here, there's a little bit. Darken it up now. It'll help me adjust the mid tones. I'd eat a bullet if I was allergic to peanut butter. That's a no-go for me. Probably my favorite substance on this planet. And I'd say thank you to George W. Carver, George Washington Carver. But with all the things he made out of peanut butter, out of peanuts, peanut butter was never actually one of them. Figured out how to do 1,000 things with peanut butter, with peanuts, but never made peanut butter. What a strange thing. Now I can come back in and darken more of this up. Most of the spots under him should be shaded more than they are in the reference photo, because the stick that he's sitting on is not actually, he's not actually sitting on it. He's just, that's Photoshop. But I had to get him in there somehow. I'll leave the top edge a little highlighted here. I think I need new glasses already. I feel like I only just got these things, but man, I can barely see what I'm doing. Is that better? That's looking better. We can add just a little bit of spotting and stuff. Not really detailing yet, but getting some of that bark look in there. You know what? I'll allow that one. That's censored enough from me and for YouTube, I hope. Thank you, Cats or Pics. Uncrustables? Yes. Yes, Uncrustables are delicious. And there are a few spots down in here where I'm going to add just a little hint of green, of a dark grayish green, to kind of show, hopefully, some reflected light without destroying everything. I definitely have to make that edge darker. Let me sharpen up. And we'll come in here. Make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Still looks a little blurry. Whenever I start my stream, it's nice and comfortable in here. But the longer we go, it gets quite hot. Because there is no AC in this room. And I have a computer, 2 monitors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights on.
I'm not sure.
Really? Who asked you? You can see I'm not trying to be perfect with it, just trying to get that detail in there. By breaking up and wiggling my line a little bit, it helps to give that illusion of bark. That's all we're going for. The illusion of bark. Move my reference photo. Okay. Now, when we paint and draw, or sculpt, or whatever, we're not really painting or drawing in 3D. We are engineering the invisible. We are creating the illusion. Something's weird here. Okay, I see what I did. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, we're creating the illusion of 3D. Because you're not drawing 3D. You can't draw 3D. Unless you have one of those fancy Japanese 3D printing pens. Which I would be scared to use because a pen. You know how many times I get paint and ink on me when I'm drawing? A pen that oozes hot molten plastic? Yeah, sounds like a bad idea to me. Oh, sorry, Clark. I didn't. Blah. Sorry, Cat's Art Pics. I did miss it. Um, how do you know when to get rid of it? I don't know. Nothing should be sticking to it. If you're using just colored pencils, that should be that shouldn't there shouldn't be much color getting onto it because the colored pencil should not be able to stick to it. And if it is, I don't know. That's weird. Are you putting it over stuff while it's wet? Because that could be what is making it pick up color. I don't know. That's a dang good question. And being that I'm still, like I say a lot, but I'm still fairly new to colored pencils. I haven't been using the glassine all that long. I used to use tracing paper, that didn't work. And it wasn't until I started watching Lisa that I even knew that glassine existed. So, oh, wow, it just jumped on me big time. I can't, Dylan. I would love to, but that is not an option because it's the near vision that I need. If I slide them down, I can't I can't see anything. Then everything goes blurry if it's within a couple inches of me. This is mostly in shadow up to around here. So everything in between these two spots needs to darken, but not by much. Just a little. Do a little bit more texturing down in here. The end of this branch has a lot of little, like, specky specks and dots. See if we can work that in there. Go even darker. Some of these spots. Yeah, that's definitely it. And one of the reasons I think I'm definitely in need of new ones is because sometimes when I'm done and I take my glasses off, well then for a little while I get a little dizzy. And it's not fun. It's like while my eyes adjust back to looking at things at a distance, it messes with my equilibrium a bit. A little more texture in there. Any minute now, I'm gonna get in here and start blending this out a little. And yeah, 432. Okay, we're not doing too bad. Get a little bit more detail down in here so I can judge everything. Okay, do some blending real quick. Start down here. Trying not to touch his little feet. This part here is going to have to go just a little bit darker in that shaded area. So we will definitely have to adjust that. Now someone out there is mowing their lawn. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Try and keep this color off of these leaf parts. I mean, it's only black and white, but I don't want it to mess up my leaves when I do go to do them. Okay. He's starting to look pretty good. It's definitely still a little blurry on my screen. So, I don't know if it's coming out blurry on your end. You guys can let me know. Bye, Teresa, if you're not already gone. 416, yeah, you're probably way gone. Why is my chat not moving? Because I am apparently missing a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, Starving! I didn't notice you come in because my chat was not moving. Priorities, Starving. Priorities. Oh, good. You don't hear the mower. Okay, as far as I can tell, I'm caught up. I'm not hearing the promised ice cream truck either, Clark. So I don't know. I know they do sometimes fight with each other, the ice cream men around here. Because around here, I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but definitely in Suffolk County, New York, you have to buy the route that you're going to drive your ice cream truck on. And it seems like a lot of people aren't doing that. They're just buying an old ice cream truck and going out and selling ice cream, and the people who buy their routes don't like it, so they do fight. Okay. Now that he's drying, we'll see what we can do. Oh, I might be able to get into the stem here a little bit before we get into the leaves, because I'm going to save the leaves for next time. That's going to be a lot of filling in, so let's see if I can start this out. Start by kind of tracing out where some of this darker color is. It may, oh, that's in the way, isn't it? Most of it's in the green spectrum, but there's some browns and tans in it as well. So let's just see how much of this I can do before, time runs out. Well, time for me anyway. That goes a darker green up there, up here in the crease. Yeah, you could say that. I'm assuming you mean over by you guys, Stella. Because, ooh, Choco Taco. Choco Taco. Me, myself, I prefer some Mr. Softy. And when I go to Mr. Softy, I generally get a shake. I don't know if Mr. Softy is a is a nationwide thing or if it's just around us. Because I have not left Long Island all that many times in my life. So I don't know if Mr. Softy exists in other places. That would be awesome. If that were true, please tell me that's true. The song Our Ice Cream Man plays. There's two of them because there's at least two that are constantly driving around here. One of them is that I don't know the actual song's name, but the "Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie 'em in?" That one, and the other one is the same song they use for Wacko's Capitals of the States of America. In Animaniacs, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and yeah, that one. I don't know that one as well as I know the other ones. I could do most of Yakko's nations of the world, but I don't know my capitals. That's not true. I do know my capitals. I just don't know the song. I don't know the order that go in the song. Yep, yep, yep. That works on a few different levels. Mr. Whippy? Well, I wouldn't expect any less from the land down under, Starving. I'm surprised it's not something really, really, really truncated because you guys like to shorten everything. Uh, remember, I'm going to start getting some of this brown in here, some of this tannish brown. very light brown so I don't go too dark too fast. And in just a couple of spots, I'm mixing the brown into the green. Just to get some play in the color. And I will darken that up probably next time. Goes all the way up there. Huh? I'm going to make sure I get some really good coverage in here. Get down into that tooth without burnishing. Many, many light layers. That's what we're going for. And I've said it before, my goal for this channel is to show people that art takes time. So many people, they turn on Instagram, they turn on TikTok, or they open whatever you want to, however you want to say that. They open those things up and they see all these little videos that are 7 seconds long. And boom, art's done. And yeah, it ain't like that, people. If that's what you think art is like, don't get into art. Because you're wrong. You're just wrong. Okay. We're going to blend this little bit out. And then we'll call it a day. Just so I can stare at it for the next week, making sure that everything is somewhat close to the colors and contrast and values that I'm looking for. I know that a lot of this is going to have to go much darker. So we'll see how everything goes. Every now and then you got to step back from your work. And when you're doing a live stream, you can't really step back from your work. So. Don't make fun of me. You're older than I am, buddy. I mean, you're my older brother, so I hope you're older than me. If not, something's really wrong. Okay. We're definitely getting there. So, thank you, everybody. Let me go back in front of the camera because I'm rolling away. Thank you, everyone, for being here. The challenge video, I'm working on that. New challenge should be up maybe tomorrow. I'm not actually sure. For the Lockery Artist groups on MeWe and Facebook. Yeah, I'm working on those, so I don't know. I may have a second and possibly even a third, like, mini video sometime during the week this week. If I get them both done, I'm definitely working on one as we speak. So, hopefully that's all gonna happen. So keep your eyes out for that. And, I gotta remember I need to speak to Jamie Eady about something. That might be good for both of us. That's a completely different subject. So, yeah, thank you all for being here. I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something. This always happens. But, yeah. What am I forgetting? Thank you, Angela, for modding for me. I greatly appreciate it. One of these days, I'm going to have to make one of these other people a mod because you're doing everything, and I used to have two, but one of them disappeared. So, yeah. Okay, next week we'll definitely start getting into the leaves. The bird is almost done. He needs a little bit more shading, and some highlights, and then he'll be perfect. And yeah, I definitely have to try and keep in mind when I start the leaves next time to leave room for raindrops, and I have to figure out how I'm going to do the streaky rain. Okay, that's enough babbling for me. Thank you, everybody. Oh, I know what it was. The reference photos on Patreon. On Patreon, there are now the $4 and $9 tiers got their free photos, but there are also 10 yellow rose photos for anybody who wants to go and check them out. My link is in the description below, so go and check them out. Okay, that's it. This time I swear, and I'll see you next time. Bye.